Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Today is Wednesday, the 11th of March, 2020, and I'm glad to have you guys here. Now, here's what I want to talk about. Right now, as I'm speaking, the financial system is beginning to collapse. And isn't it any wonder? In 2008, actually, the financial system rolled over and collapsed, and they propped it up with cheap, easy, funny money. And what they've done is during those years from 2008, did I say 2011? I meant 2008 when it fell, the collapse of the financial system. They have tried to fix things, but using 0% interest rate policy for like 11 years, and injections of money into the system to keep it on life support. But what they did was they blew up asset bubbles everywhere, all over the earth. In real estate, I can't begin to tell you how overinflated the Hong Kong real estate market is. It's off the scale. The Canadian real estate market here in Canada is completely overinflated. Same thing in the United States. They inflated these asset bubbles. Real estate's one of the biggest bubbles that asset bubbles that they inflated. But they inflated others, like in fine art. They didn't, it's funny, they didn't inflate asset bubbles. In fact, they kept the price suppressed to gold and silver. So what we're facing right now is the world's financial system is built on a house of cards because of these asset bubbles that they blew up all over the world. It's called the everything bubble now. 30 years of credit expansion. We've built a system on credit. And basically right now the credit is starting to implode. And what has popped this bubble like a pin is this virus. But now I want to talk about the virus just for a minute or two. This virus isn't like your ordinary virus like the flu or something. I'll use an illustration. How many of you out there have a wood stove or have seen a wood stove or at least used a wood stove at least once in your life? Why don't they use paper inside a wood stove? I mean, paper burns nice and hot, and you fill the wood stove up with paper. It's easy to light. It lights really easy, and it's hard to get a wood stove lit. Any of you guys out there, some of you guys is not experienced with wood stoves, that it takes a little bit of know-how to get a wood stove, get the wood burning. But paper's easy to light. So why don't they use paper in a wood stove to heat their house? Well, the reason why is you light the paper inside your wood stove, and 30 seconds later, the wood stove's empty and it's out. The paper burns all up. Gone. That's why they don't use paper in a wood stove. Wood forms a bed of coals, and those coals burn for hours. That's why they use wood. Well, viruses are kind of like the same sort of a deal. They're not all created equal. They're not all the same. Some viruses burn like wood. They stay in our population for year after year, and you can't really root them out because they have a bed of coals burning. And it's in the nature of the virus. Right? This virus that's moving through right now burns like paper. It's really fast, just like paper's really fast. It's really easy for it to get lit. One person comes in from some other country who has it, and then it just poof, it burns like paper. Well, the same analogy as applies to paper. It can burn itself out quickly too, because it moves so fast. Because it has such a high R0 value. But it's acting as the pin that's bursting this financial bubble, And it's, even though it moves fast, this virus, it's on the uptick right now, big time, in almost every country on earth. In other words, the numbers are increasing. And so it's continuing to burst this bubble, this enormous financial bubble. There's far more danger lies in the financial bubble bursting than the virus itself. And yes, I know this virus is very dangerous. Oh, it's terrible. Yes, it is. And it can kill a certain percentage of the population. But the financial system supports all of us. It provides your food on the table, and you can't go more than 30 or 40 days without food. The financial system provides you with your gas for your car in order for you to go anywhere. The financial system provides everything in all the necessities of your life, right down to toilet paper. All your life it's been there, providing for you. And what does the financial system need? Well, your car needs gas, or it won't run. How many of you out there expect your car to run if you don't put any gas in it for 2 weeks and all of a sudden the tank's empty? Do you really expect to get in and start it up and go someplace with no gas? Well, the gas for the financial system is money. Fiat money. It's not Bitcoin. It's not gold. It's not silver. It's fiat money. That's the gas for the financial system. Now, in this kind of a situation where everything is popping, the financial system desperately needs support at a certain point. As everything starts to pop, the financial system's still going to need gas. And its gas supply is going to be cut off. Because as everybody quits working, as businesses start to fold under, as everything starts to collapse, because the bubble has been burst, and you know what? If that virus were to disappear tomorrow morning, we would still be in this financial collapse, because the bubble has been popped at this point. Supply chains have been broken at this point. So support, the pillars of support, the money to keep the financial system running, just like to keep your car running, has to be continued supply. If they take the route to withdraw financial support from the financial system, well, the financial system will completely go flat at this point, and there won't be any financial system. There won't be any businesses open. There won't be anything open. Everything will close, and a few days later or months later, humanity will be in one bigger crisis than it ever has been in before, a bigger crisis than any flu. If they don't support it. So what does this mean, them supporting it? Well, they've already started moving in the right direction. The governments. Here in Canada, they're going to provide support packages of some sort or another. Support on an individual basis, support for businesses, support for that are finding difficulty because of the virus, and so on. And they're doing the same sort of thing in the United States of America. This is good. This is helping to keep us going through this crisis, to move forward into this crisis. The crisis is unavoidable. We're going to head there. We're heading there right now. But how bad is it going to get depends on how much support the system receives. So what they need to do is they've already started moving in the right direction, supporting the system. They have to focus their attention now, at this point, on certain aspects of the system. The ones who are supporting the system within government have to focus their attention on certain aspects within the system, now at this point, to mitigate the disaster. Not to make the disaster go away. It's going to be a disaster. But to mitigate it so that the system doesn't completely fall apart. There's a core part of the system. A central part of the system. Just like your body has a central nervous system. A core part. Like if you're freezing, you snuggle your arms and legs up as tight as you can to the core of your body, and your body will protect the core. That's why your toes will freeze first, because they're the furthest away from the core. The body will protect the core. And the financial system's the same way. It has a core part of the system that provides for us. See, it's one thing to go to Walmart and find that they're out of something on the shelves, like say they're out of air compressors, or they're out of generators. Okay, they come from China or whatever. That's one thing. But you go to the food aisle, and there's still food there. They might be out of certain types of food. Might be out of toilet paper. They might be out of bottled water or whatever. But there's still certain types of food you can still buy. That's one thing. That would be what a system would look like if they offer support to the system. But if you go to Walmart and all the windows are smashed and there's nothing left in the store and all the aisles are trampled and it's dark inside there and there's savages roaming around, and everything has been crushed and destroyed, that's what the system looks like if they don't provide support. It's a crushed, destroyed system. Then you get no food anywhere. That's what the system looks like if they do not provide support and carry us through this situation from the beginning of this virus, which is where we're at right now, is actually at the beginning. Carry us through until the end. Carry us like you carry a baby in a baby carriage. You protect it. If you're carrying, like they got these little baskets, say you're carrying a baby in a basket or carrying a baby in a cradle of some sort or another. Carry him past the danger and then to the other side. That's what they need to do. They need to use finance to carry us through this entire situation. And they need to have the attitude that Mario Draghi had when he said, whatever it takes. Yes, it might destroy the fiat currencies. But if we're on the other side of this virus, and the virus burns itself out, factories will start again, businesses will start again, people will start commerce again, and the system can be reset at that point in time. Whatever malfeasance, whatever inflation, whatever, they can just say, okay, at that point in time, we're going to create a new dollar or whatever, or reset it at that point in time. Once the virus has done everything and everything's starting to start back up again. Almost like after the tornado comes through, it's flattened all your houses. People's come and looked. They've been gutted seeing their house all destroyed, and then they go away for a week or two, and when they come back, they're coming back with intent of rebuilding. At first, they're gutted by the reaction of what they see, and then they come back with the intent of rebuilding. And that's the same way in this situation. Society will rebuild itself, but you need to carry through, you need to offer that support through the hard part. And the hard part's what we're just getting ready to start to go through. Look, the market this morning has fell off nearly 1,200 points. Right now, at time of speaking, it's down 1,188.26, 4.75% down today alone. You think this is going to stop? Yes, it will stop. It will stop after this virus has burned itself out and caused all the trouble it's going to cause. And I have no doubt in my mind that there's going to come a period in the future where this virus won't be affecting us the way it is now. Right now, it's on the uptick. It's spreading. It's undeniable. Around the world. Spreading. So we're on the front side of this. We need support to get us through to the back side of this. And what's it going to look like? It's not going to be pretty. Even if the government supports everyone, it's not going to be pretty. Because what's going to happen is, on one side, we're going to have the government printing money like crazy to try to support everything. And that's great. That's what they should do. Okay? But no matter how much money they print, they're not creating the goods and services, especially the goods. They're not increasing the supply of goods. There's supply chain shortages. So on one side, you got them printing money like crazy. Okay? And on the other side of this coin, there's a shortage of goods because supply chains have been cut. A shortage of food, shortage of water, shortage of toilet, but already shortage. You see it happening. There's shortages of toilet paper. Try to buy hand cleaner right now. Try to buy a face mask, whatever. You know, there's shortages of everything beginning, but it's going to extend into almost everything. These shortages, anything that's tangible and you can hold in your hand, because they're going to be printing money on the other side to buy these things with, as much as you need. But they're not making these things that you're buying with the money. And these things are in tight supply. What happens when something's in tight supply? The price goes astronomically high. And what happens when they print more money? They drive the price up. So we're going to have a double factor here. Double whammy. Prices going exceedingly high because of a shortage of supply. And on the same side, them printing all this new money. But then there's the alternative. They can decide not to print. What if that happens? Then money will go into short supply too because people aren't working. Nobody will have any money then at that point. So then you'd have a shortage of supply and a shortage of money. Both. The system would utterly collapse to the ground. And that would be far more devastating than anything else. Because people can't survive without a system to support them. I know there's probably survivalists in my audience right now saying, I can survive without a system. You know? Yeah, but what if this were to extend for an extended period of time? How well would you do? You know? Now think about that for a minute. I know you got probably some of the survivalists have tremendous food supplies put away, but it would be a tricky, very tricky situation. You don't want to go there. Unless you're forced to go there. Because it'd be a tricky situation. Even for the best survivalist. It would create circumstances that you cannot foresee that would come up that you would be like, catch you off guard. Like, I can't tell you exactly what them circumstances are, but even if you're the best diehard survivalist, and say you're out there and you're plowing your field with a horse, and all of a sudden your plow breaks. You didn't see that one coming, and you don't have a second plow. You know, things like that. The way the system is right now, the system provides support. You break your plow, you go and get it fixed. Or you go and buy the part you need. You know? But if the system's down, then all of a sudden you can't, your plow's broke, you can't even plow. Or what about if your seeds go bad? I'm talking die-hard, next levels of survivalists. You know? The system supports all of us. And we can't let it go down because if it goes down completely flat, it's like Humpty Dumpty falling off the wall. Humpty Dumpty was an egg. Fell off the wall. He smattered into a million little pieces. It says all the king's horses and all the king's men could not put Humpty Dumpty back together again because there's so many tiny little fragments. The system has been established over thousands of years, and it's like Humpty Dumpty. It works. It functions to a certain degree. Okay, maybe it's corrupt. Maybe there's corruption all the way through it. But it functions. It provides for us. And it's what we have. And it's something that's been slowly established over thousands of years. And it's very fragile. And if it smashes all the little pieces and there's nothing left of it, then who can put it back together again? But if they decide to hold the system together by using an open pocketbook, they can hold the system together. Maybe it'll be a government-managed system, because it's all government supported with all government money, but it's a system. So it's different so there's a certain amount of structure still there. Even if the system's not running on all four pistons, even if it's only running on 2 cylinders, still there would be some food at the grocery store, and the grocery store would likely still be open. Even if there's only half the food there is in there it is now, and even if the price is exorbitantly high, still, it's still there. Still, there is a certain structure there to the system. There's still police out there, and there's to protect your home. There's still electricity. Maybe it only comes on once a day for 2 hours, but it's still there. This is a system that is being supported. But what happens if you completely withdraw that support? System falls and collapses into nothingness. And then who can put it back together again? These are all things to think about, because we're facing one enormous crisis. And it's growing. It's growing by the day. And the effect is growing by the day. And we're starting to see it reflected in the markets. And I mean, it's, you guys been watching the markets, you know that this is starting to get out of control rapidly. So I'm not even doing the market report this morning. I'm just sitting here watching these markets, and it's all starting to go haywire. So whatever contingency plans the government has, they better start sitting around their table and start thumping their fist on the table and start talking and chewing this over and deciding what they're going to do. And fast. They better start making plans. And their plans should be, and they have started moving in the right direction, but should be unlimited support for the system, to hold the system together through this time of trouble, which probably won't last all that long. But the support should be unlimited. Thanks for listening, guys. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.